Shalom Aleichem, Mishpachim, Boker Tov. Alright, I'm going to continue my readings in Iggeres, HaGra. Letter written by the Vilna Gaon to his family as he left on his journey to embark to Eretz Yisrael. And a letter of ethical teachings, a letter of ethical instructions to his family, and assurance that they should be strong in faith and live accordingly as they did when the Vilna Gaon was with them. All right, the letter's introduction. I request of you, my family, that you not be pained whatsoever, as you truly promised me, and also that you not worry. In alternative text, as mother promised me. Besides, what is there to worry about? I request of you that you not be pained whatsoever. The Gra, concerned that his departure would cause his family anguish, begins his letter requesting that they not be pained by his decision to travel to Eretz Yisrael, in a letter filled with instructions and guidance in many areas of Avodas Hashem. It is telling that the Gra begins the letter with a plea that he not be a cause of anguish to those close to him. Moreover, it is noteworthy that the Gra, whose every word in this letter is carefully measured, used repetitious language beseeching his family not to be pained, not at all. This teaches the care that every person must take not to cause any pain to another Jew. The Talmud Yerushalmi in Demai teaches Rabbi Pinchas ben Yair was once traveling to the Beis Medrash and at one point needed to cross the Genai River. Rabbi Pinchas ben Yair asked the river to split so that he might pass through, and the river acquiesced. When he was asked by his students whether they could make a similar request of the river, Rabbi Pinchas told them, only someone who never in his life ever caused distress to another Jew could cross the river without being set upon by the river waters. In Yerushalmi clearly teaches that the merit which Rabbi Pinchas ben Yair called upon for this miracle was not due to his untiring efforts in Torah study or the level of his scholarship, nor for his powers in tefillah or kindness and charity, but rather because of his care never to pain another Jew. The Mashgiach, Rabbi Dan Sigel, said that a man once asked the Chazon Ish to prescribe a method through which he could attain the highest level of perfection possible. The petitioner thought the Chazon Ish would respond by telling him to finish the study of Shas, or to know the 4 sections of the Shulchan Aruch, or to study Torah with diligence. The Chazon Ish answered instead, successfully pass through this world without causing pain to another Jew. Eretz Yisrael. Now, men commonly journey from home for several years at a time for the purpose of acquiring money, leaving their wives on their own, as these men also wander destitute. Now, men commonly journey from home for several years at a time. The Gra reminds his family that their lot is not an uncommon one. Many men leave their families for extended periods of time to accumulate wealth and the like, and so the Gra hopes that his family's awareness that the purpose of his trip is much more exalted and sublime in nature should alleviate their anguish greatly. For the purpose of acquiring money, the Gra refers to the accepted practice common in those times, and not fully out of style in our days, of men leaving their homes for extended trips to earn a living. The Chovos Halivavos Shar Habitachan, the benefits, writes at length of the folly of men disrupting their lives and the lives of their families by traveling great distances in the hope of amassing wealth, as opposed to the peace and calm found by those who eschew wandering and content themselves to trust in Hashem to amply provide for their needs right where they live, even if on a lesser scale. But I, with gratitude to God, am journeying to the Holy Land, which everyone yearns to see, the Jewish people's most beloved. Alternative version, most beloved land of Hashem, toward which is the desire of all heavenly and earthly beings, and thus I am journeying in peace. Thank God. The Holy Land. Rav Chaim Kanievsky says that the inherent holiness generally ascribed to Eretz Israel is unrelated to the general dispute as to whether or not the land's original sanctity remains for all time. For even the opinion that holds maintains that this only impacts the Teruma and Maser obligations for crops and fruit. But even that opinion agrees that the land possesses an inherent state of holiness to this very day, which everyone yearns to see. Rav Michael Yehuda Lefkowitz pointed out that the word yearning for is often found in the context of longing for the ultimate redemption. As the Gemara in Shabbos 31a states, at the onset of his heavenly judgment, a person is asked, "Did you yearn for the redemption?" Similarly, this usage is found in the Shemoni Esrei, Nusach, Sephard, and we yearn for the redemption. Here as well, the Gra implies that all yearn to see Eretz Israel with the coming of Mashiach and its salvation, toward which is the desire of all heavenly and earthly beings. Midrash Rabbah Shemos states that Eretz Israel is called a desired land, as evidenced by the fact that Canaanite kings eagerly established their kingdoms that were negligible in size. Alternatively, the Avos desired this land. Fathers desire this land. One goes up to Eretz Israel for the purpose of absorbing its holiness and performing the mitzvos that can be fulfilled only there. As the Gemara in Sota 14a says, Moshe Rabbeinu so desired to enter Eretz Israel, not to eat of its fruit or benefit from its physical goodness. Rather, Moshe wanted to fulfill the mitzvos that could only be performed there. In fact, the Ramban famously stated, the main fulfillment of all mitzvos is by those who live in Eretz Israel, and living in Eretz Israel is equivalent to all other mitzvos. Ramban continues that it was for this reason that he, later in life, left his possessions in Spain and moved to Eretz Israel. In the 1920s, Rabbi Nassan Zvi Finkel, the Alter of Slobodka, relocated his yeshiva in the city of Hebron. One morning before davening, he was seen venturing out to the main road that led to Yerushalayim. Occasionally, he would reach down and remove stones strewn across the road. His Talmidim assumed that he was merely removing obstacles in the road that could cause damage. Upon hearing this reasoning, the Alter looked at them in surprise, explaining that his actions were based on an explicit Gemara in Kesubos 112a that states that Rebbe Chanina cleared obstacles from the roads of Eretz Israel. Rashi there explains that Rebbe Chanina would do this out of his love for the land, as he did to ensure that the land's roads not be disparaged. You, my wife, are also aware that I have left my children for whom my heart pines, as well as all my precious books, and the majestic splendor that is my home. And I am as a stranger in a foreign country. Indeed, I have left everything. I have left my children for whom my heart pines. With these words as well, the Gra reminds his family that he likewise shares in their pain of separation, especially from his beloved children. Only an overwhelming desire for the Holy Land would lead him to do this. And with his realization, his family will no doubt be comforted that his actions were imperative. One might wonder how indeed the Gra would journey and forsake his obligation to educate his children. Rav Chaim Kanievsky suggests that the Gra sincerely hoped that his family would follow him to the Holy Land soon after. Or Rav Chaim suggests the Gra hoped to fulfill the mitzvah of educating his children through a shiliach, an agent. The designated agent was his wife, much as we educate our children today through teachings in yeshivos. See also below, page 80, where we quote the opinion of the Shelach HaKadosh, who maintains that the primary source of a child's chinuch is his mother. Rabbi Michael Yehuda Lefkowitz pointed out that of all the topics mentioned in this letter, the Gra speaks most longingly about his children, and in spite of that, he leaves them for the purpose of achieving greater gains in spiritual matters, following the dictum of Chazal. that Torah knowledge is found with one who makes himself unkind as a raven toward his children, relying on providence for their support, as well as all my precious books. The Gras Sepharim were precious and beloved to him, no doubt due to the never-ending effort and energy he put into understanding their contents. On or around Yom Kippur of the year 1939, the Russian army captured the city of Kamenets from the Germans. The Bachrim of the Kamenets Yeshiva were instructed to join the great concentration of Bnei Yeshiva of Vilna. When the Birchas Shmuel, Rabbi Baruch Ber Lebovitz, was ready to leave as well, he first went to his room to part from his precious Sepharim. When he entered the room, he approached the Sepharim that he toiled over intensely. He embraced them tightly while sobbing, and refused to leave until two Talmidim pulled him from the shelves by force due to the imminent danger he faced. And the majestic splendor that is my house. The Gra's reference to this house as his splendor clearly does not refer to its physical structure representing this temporary world, which is merely an anteroom to the next world. Rather, it referred to the walls of his home that were saturated with his Torah study, similar to that which Chazal state that the stones and beams of a person's home will testify to his most private deeds. If one's home can witness his actions, no doubt they can also absorb the great sanctity that his Torah and Avodah generate. The Gra's house, which surely witnessed his intense service of Hashem, must have contained great sanctity, and thereby was worthy of the Gra, calling it an abode of majestic splendor. Rav Michael Yehuda Lefkowitz wrote in his Tzava, Ethical Will, "The soul will derive extraordinary pleasure when leaving the body by way of our home in which we lived, for in this house was heard the sounds of tefillah and Torah study, rejecting of this world's luxuries, and the doing of kindness with others, to encourage the lowly and give life to the downtrodden, all of which are the primary obligations of a person in this world." Rav Michael Yehuda did not wish for his body to pass through his yeshiva, or place where he davened, on its way to his burial. He allowed only that it be brought to his home. A home is a place where one is usually not seen by others, a place where a person is often embarrassed from his deeds witnessed by only the beams of his house. But Rav Michael Yehuda understood that the beams of his house would have only positive reports to share. And I will finish here. And that is a reading of Iggeres HaGra, the letter from the Vilna Gaon to his family as he was leaving on an imminent trip to Eretz Israel. Have a wonderful morning.